It was the 9th time my wife, Sarah, had insulted me right in front of my face by speaking to her old boyfriend, Alex, in a language she knew I didn't understand. I suddenly felt that our marriage was pointless. I set my wine glass down, turned, and accepted the job offer from the international company. As soon as my visa was approved, I booked a flight to London for the next day. I slipped the divorce papers into my resignation forms and handed them to her. As the company's CEO, she was about to look everything over carefully when Alex mentioned he had a stomachache. She quickly scribbled her signature without a second thought and rushed off, holding his arm. From that moment on, I completely disappeared from her life. I never looked back. Later, far across the ocean, a young woman from our country cried her eyes out under the London Eye, but she could never find the husband she once had. "Ken, the team is really excited to have you join us overseas." Lisa's voice was cheerful when I gave her my final confirmation. "When do you think you can start?" I thought for a moment and answered, "I'll be there within 2 weeks." After I hung up, I found Sarah standing right behind me. I don't know how long she'd been there. She frowned and asked, "Where are you going?" I gave her a cold look and simply said, "Abroad." Hearing this, Sarah scoffed. "Do you have to be so dramatic? So what if I brought Alex to our 5th anniversary dinner yesterday? Are you trying to frighten me by saying you're going abroad?" I didn't bother to explain anything. She didn't know that I had understood every single word of their French conversation at the restaurant. She had openly complained to another man about how unhappy she was with me over the last 5 years, calling me a complete idiot. She said, "You have no idea. Besides work, laundry, and cooking, we have absolutely nothing in common. I try to talk about romance and beauty, and he brings up company profits. He has zero sense of romance. Having him around is no different from having a breathing maid. I really regret marrying him." Alex had laughed and played along, joking. "So Sarah, if I hadn't gone overseas back then, would you have chosen me?" Sarah had paused, then said with true certainty, "Absolutely." In the past, I would have caused a huge scene, but this time I was surprisingly calm. I ignored the waiter's pitying look, finished the last piece of steak, and got up to leave. "You two enjoy yourselves. I'm heading home." Alex feebly tried to make me stay. "Ken, Sarah and I were just talking about some business. Don't get the wrong idea." I ignored him and kept walking out. Then I heard Sarah's annoyed voice. "Don't pay attention to him. He's completely crazy." The only person who caught up to me was the waiter from the restaurant. He looked at me, hesitating. "Sir, I think there's something I should tell you." I smiled at him. "Thank you. I understood everything." I vaguely remember the look in that kind waiter's eyes. Pity mixed with sadness. It felt pretty sad. So it was definitely time for this marriage to end. After lecturing me for a while, and realizing I wasn't reacting, Sarah gave up and changed the subject. "Alex is planning to join our company. I'm thinking of giving him your position. After all, he's a top student who studied abroad. He's more qualified than you. If you still want to work, you can be Alex's assistant and help him out. If not, you can just be a stay-at-home husband." She watched my expression as she spoke. Since I was already planning to quit, I was secretly pleased. I had been wondering how to explain my resignation. This felt like a wish coming true. Without hesitation, I agreed. "Sure, I'll resign. Let him be the general manager." Sarah thought I was being sarcastic because I was angry, and she casually tried to comfort me. "It's for your own good. If you don't work, so many people would kill for that chance. I'll take you on a trip sometime to relax." I shook my head and refused. "If you're serious, come with me to the orphanage this week to see the director." Sarah agreed. "Okay, it's been a while since I've seen the director too." Sarah and I grew up in the same orphanage. Whenever anyone bullied her, I was the one who stood up for her. Back then, Sarah would always blink her bright eyes and tell me, "When we grow up, I'll protect you, Ken. I'll be good to you for my whole life." Unfortunately, a lifetime is too long, and simple promises don't mean much. Sarah didn't keep hers. She had a change of heart in college. The excitement of the city blinded her. She fell for the flashy and attractive Alex, the most popular guy in the French department. The moment Sarah chose French as her elective for him, I should have understood. But someone as dazzling as Alex didn't notice Sarah back then. Instead, he went overseas with a rich girl. Now, Sarah was successful, and I, once her cherished love, had become nothing important, which made Alex seem even purer and more wonderful. The next day, I went to the office to pack my things. Along the way, employees looked at me with different expressions. An older colleague I was close to came up and whispered, "Ken, the VP brought a man to your office early this morning. As soon as they got there, he had people start moving your stuff out. What's going on?" I nodded to show I knew, and patted her hand to reassure her. As soon as I entered the office, I saw that everything that belonged to me had been cleared out. Our wedding photo was even in the trash can. Alex looked at me smugly. "Sorry, Ken. Sarah insisted I move in quickly. She had people come and clear things out early this morning." He looked down at the photo in the trash can and pretended to be surprised. "Who was so careless as to put Sarah and your wedding photo in the trash?" He then bent down, picked up the photo, and handed it to me. I took it, removed the photo from the frame, and tore it to pieces. "There's no need to pick up something that's already dirty." Sarah's loud gasp came from behind me. "Ken, what are you doing? How could you tear up this photo?" She rushed forward to pick up the torn pieces, trying to put them back together. But broken things, no matter how carefully mended, can never be restored to how they were. Just like the relationship between Sarah and me. I used to really value this photo. When we first got married, Sarah was just starting her business. We were poor. After buying wedding rings, we had no extra money. I told her, "We don't absolutely have to take wedding photos. We can do it later." But Sarah said, "I just want to marry you. I can't let you feel too disrespected." To pay for that photo shoot, she worked late for 10 nights, taking odd jobs for 10 days, just to save up. Thinking back now, that photo shoot wasn't expensive, only about $150. Not even enough to buy one of Sarah's scarves now. But it was this set of photos that made me, even though she had briefly hesitated, marry her without question. But it turns out once there's a flaw, you have to cut your losses quickly. I ignored Sarah's emotional outburst and calmly pulled out a document. "These are my resignation papers. Sign here." Seeing my calm and uncaring manner, a rare moment of panic crossed Sarah's face, the first time since the night before last. She took the papers, glanced at them, and said, "If you don't want to resign, we can talk about it. I can find another position for Alex." Alex, standing next to her, panicked, not wanting to lose his prize. He tugged on Sarah's sleeve, whining, "Sarah!" For once, Sarah ignored Alex and looked at me, waiting for my answer. I smiled, still calm and detached. "No need. After all these years, I've had enough of this job." Sarah bit her lip, feeling a wave of frustration. She slammed her hand on the table. "Fine, you said it. Don't regret it." She quickly opened the agreement, about to read it carefully. Alex, afraid of more problems, grabbed his stomach, yelling, "Sarah, my stomach hurts! Sign it quickly and take me to the hospital." Hearing this, Sarah picked up a pen, quickly signed her name, and rushed out with Alex in her arms. I looked at the resignation papers on the table, and the weight on my chest finally lifted. Sarah would never know that tucked inside was the divorce agreement. From the moment she signed it, we were strangers. I picked up the agreement, left the company, and went home. I went through my belongings piece by piece. What I could take, I took. What I couldn't, I threw away. I erased every sign of us from this house. The 1,000 paper stars Sarah folded for half a month when she was 13, the love letters she wrote me when she was 18, and the gold ring she bought with all her money when she proposed to me. These were once my prized possessions, but without love, they now seemed so worthless. It was 8 p.m. when Sarah returned. She pushed open the door, looking tired, and frowned at the noticeably emptier house. Turning around, she saw the large bags of luggage I had packed and casually asked, "What are you doing?" I made up a simple excuse. "There's too much clutter in the house. I'm tidying up." She looked closely, opened the closet, saw only her clothes, and asked, "Where are your clothes?" I smiled. "Didn't you want me to be a stay-at-home husband? My old clothes are worn out. I plan to throw them away and buy new ones." Sarah scoffed. "You sure don't mind spending my money, but go ahead and buy them." "Oh, right. I've cleared my schedule to go back to the orphanage with you tomorrow." I agreed. Okay. After all, we grew up together. For our last moments, I wanted to say goodbye properly. Saturday morning, I put on clean clothes, taking some rare time to dress up. In recent years, I'd been busy with company business and managing Sarah's household, with no time for myself. I looked carefully at the person in the mirror. Compared to my memory, I had indeed aged a lot. No wonder Sarah called me an ugly freak. Sarah wore a neatly ironed, fitted dress. We had a simple breakfast and left. On the way, we talked calmly about many things: our childhood at the orphanage, the difficulties of starting the business. But halfway there, a phone call shattered the peace. I quickly saw the name on the phone screen. Alex. As soon as the call ended, Sarah stopped the car. She looked at me with a troubled expression. "Ken, something suddenly came up at the company. I have to go deal with it." I didn't call out her lie. I opened the car door and got out. Through the car window, I sincerely said goodbye to her. "Sarah, goodbye for good." I hailed a cab and went to see the director, our mom, alone. She was older now, her hair white. She kept holding my hand, asking, "Why didn't Sarah come?" I couldn't bear to tell her the truth, so I lied. "She's busy with work and couldn't get away." The director sighed. "I always feel like Sarah has changed. She used to make time for you, no matter how busy she was. What happened?" I smiled without answering. After spending the morning at the orphanage, I returned to the house. I left the signed divorce papers in the house, dragged my luggage out, and left. Just before boarding the plane, I said goodbye to Sarah in French. Very childishly, I added at the end, "You're the idiot." Then, I blocked all the ways she could contact me and got a new SIM card. From then on, we would never meet again. After arriving in London, the person the company sent to pick me up was a beautiful woman with deep blue eyes, clear and bright, from France. She very kindly took my luggage and said to me in somewhat hesitant English, "Hello, Ken. I'm from headquarters to pick you up. You can call me Bella." I smiled and shook her hand, telling her in French, "You can speak French with me." A flash of surprise crossed her eyes. Then she smiled and complimented me. "Your French is excellent." I smiled. "You're too kind." I decided to learn French because Sarah repeatedly spoke French with Alex in front of me. When I asked what they were saying, they would brush me off, claiming it was work-related. But what kind of work could make someone so happy, so energetic? During that time, no matter how busy I would set aside an hour each day to study French. Even my leisure activities switched to watching French movies. I hoped that when she chatted with Alex, I could also join the conversation. But after I learned it, the first thing I heard Sarah say in French was, "Ken is an idiot. I'll divorce him sooner or later." It was at that moment I truly saw her for who she was. Unlike the sadness I expected, I was surprisingly calm. Perhaps I already knew the answer deep down, so even when they repeatedly mocked me in French in front of my face, I showed no emotion. I stopped investing my energy in Sarah and instead, step by step, took control of the company's client base. My leverage for joining this French company was exactly these resources I controlled, as well as my years of experience in the new energy sector. Sarah always mocked me for being an idiot, but she was the real idiot. She didn't even realize her company was being hollowed out. I guessed that Sarah, upon finding out the massive loss of clients, must be like an ant on a hot pan. Coincidentally, the first company I dealt with after arriving in France was Sarah's company. Due to the massive loss of clients, she had no customers and was forced to look for foreign markets. The French company I was with was an impossible obstacle for her. Meanwhile, Sarah faced an even bigger problem. After I left, the old employees who had been with Sarah and me since the early days of the business, upon learning what happened between us, all quit. I occasionally logged into my old WhatsApp. Many old colleagues sent messages to comfort me, congratulating me on my divorce and wishing me well on my new journey in life. They also expressed hope that we could work together again in the future. I thanked each of them. But most of the messages were from Sarah. She started sending them the day she found out I left, every single day. At first, she questioned why I knew French and hadn't told her. Later, she apologized over and over. She recounted our journey together, from relying on each other at the orphanage as children to her tutoring me in school, and then to the toughest times after graduation when we started the business, sharing a single bowl of instant noodles, never thinking of giving up on each other. How could we just break up like that? How could we just break up? I sneered inwardly. She was the one who did wrong, yet she twisted it around and questioned me. I ignored her. Her words only made me more sure, confirming that my choice was right. I threw myself into my work. 3 years passed quickly. In these 3 years, I rose step by step, from a manager at the French headquarters to the chairman of the China region. Only I knew the effort involved. I didn't date anyone for 3 years. Not because I hadn't forgotten Sarah. On the contrary, I had plenty of female company, including the blue-eyed French beauty who picked me up when I first arrived in France. She had confessed her feelings for me. I told her plainly, sex is fine. A relationship isn't. The next second, she wrapped her arms around me and kissed me. I have to say, her skills were excellent, so much so that I never replaced her, even transferring her over when I returned to China. In 3 years, I made myself stronger step by step, and increasingly understood that the person one can rely on most is oneself. When you shine in a certain area, women and wealth will come to you naturally. I didn't expect that the first person I'd see after returning to the country would be Sarah. She somehow found out I was back and was waiting at the arrival gate when I landed. When she saw me, she waved excitedly. "Ken, over here!" My gaze followed her call. Compared to 3 years ago, Sarah looked much older now. The lines under her eyes were deep, and wrinkles had appeared on her face. From a distance, I could even see gray hairs. Compared to Sarah's excitement, I was very calm. I didn't deliberately avoid her. I wasn't the one who did wrong. I had nothing to be ashamed of. I walked up to her and asked, "Is there something you need?" Faced with my lack of emotion, Sarah was momentarily lost for words. She looked at me almost pleadingly. "Ken, these past 3 years, I thought a lot. I truly know I was wrong. Can you forgive me?" I nodded. "Apology accepted. Is there anything else?" "Then, can you come back with me?" She reached out to take my hand, but I dodged it. I warned her seriously, "Sarah, we are already divorced. Please have some self-respect." She shook her head, her eyes red. "But I didn't agree to that divorce. Besides, you tricked me into signing it." I scoffed. "So what? The fact is we are divorced. You can't change that. If there's nothing else, please move aside or I'll report you to the police for harassment." Sarah's expression completely collapsed. She opened her mouth, but in the end, said nothing. I walked past Sarah with my luggage. The little French sidekick following me asked in French, "Bro, who is she?" I smiled and replied, "An idiot." I admit, in some ways, I am indeed very petty. Over these years, I had actually heard bits of news about Sarah from mutual friends. After I left, she went crazy for a while, searching everywhere for any trace of me, getting very drunk night after night, acting as if she were so deeply in love. Later, when she found out I had gone to London, she also bought a ticket and flew there. She stayed in London for a month, hoping for a chance encounter with me. During that month, Alex, knowing he couldn't keep Sarah's heart, started falsifying accounts and transferring Sarah's assets. In just 1 month, 80 million was stolen by him. By the time Sarah found out and returned, Alex had already obtained a US green card and moved there. He has yet to be caught and brought back. Sarah's company consequently faced bankruptcy and declared it. So I knew very well that her apology wasn't because she realized she was wrong, but because she knew I was currently her best option. After settling everything, I went back to the orphanage to visit the director. Compared to 3 years ago, she was sitting hunched over by the door, basking in the sun, looking even more tired. The wrinkles on her face had multiplied. Time leaves its mark on everyone. She was overjoyed to see me and came forward to greet me. I quickly stepped up to support her. Her first words to me were, "Ken, how have you been these past few years? Going to a foreign country all alone for so long, you must have suffered so much." I smiled, shook my head, and said, "It wasn't hard. Look, my career is doing great now." But the director just stroked my head like when I was little. "Silly child, how could it not be hard, struggling in a foreign country alone for so many years? I know everything about you and Sarah. She was in the wrong in this matter." I didn't answer. I was afraid the director would try to persuade me to get back with her. But unexpectedly, she pulled me down to sit and said, "It's good that you divorced. She came to me yesterday, hoping I would talk to you. I sent her away. She didn't cherish what she had, so she should bear the consequences." My eyes welled up a bit. I thought you were going to persuade me to try again with her. The old director said, "Life is already hard enough. If your partner is also unsatisfactory, it's just a waste of your life. When you were little, those bullies picked on Sarah, and you protected her time and time again. You must have been scared facing so many of them, but you still protected her. When you graduated and started your business, you were a top student from a prestigious school. It would have been easy for you to marry into a wealthy family and live comfortably. But you were willing to eat plain bread and drink cold water with her, step by step, to get where you are today. If she had even once thought about the journey you two traveled, she wouldn't have done so many things to wrong you. If I pleaded for her, I would be betraying your sincere heart." She pulled me into her embrace, holding me like she did when I was little. Time really flies. The small tree Sarah and I planted at the orphanage during Arbor Day when we were children was now tall and provides ample shade, and we too were no longer the same. After spending the afternoon with the director at the orphanage, I went back. Unexpectedly, I was trending on social media that evening. Someone had exposed my relationships with 8 different women. The trending topic read, Apex Energy's China region chairman and his 8 girlfriends. In the comments section, there were chat logs between me and one of the women, and also a photo of my little French sidekick embracing me in a hotel. I casually scrolled through the comments. Whoa, this is explosive! 8 girlfriends! Your life is my dream! That French beauty is gorgeous! Those clear blue eyes are hitting me right in the heart. Seriously, don't you people have any shame? Juggling 8 women? Ugh, this is a disgrace to society. Yeah, if this happened to a woman, you guys would have dragged her to death by now. Before I finished reading the comments, an unknown number called, and Sarah's voice came through the phone. Ken, are you okay right now? I instantly understood how this trending topic came about. I didn't waste time and asked directly, Did you leak this? Sarah, on the other end of the line, fell silent, which was a clear admission. I sneered. You've really outdone yourself. Sarah quickly tried to explain. Ken, listen to me. If you agree to remarry me, I'll immediately have the paparazzi delete it and issue a clarification for you. It won't affect your job. My opinion of Sarah's shamelessness hit a new low. I said sarcastically, What's the big deal? This is the 21st century. Netizens are very open-minded. Being liked by 8 women only proves I'm charming. It's all consensual. Besides, I got to where I am today through my abilities and resources. You think a little gossip like this can threaten me? Dream on. I hung up and called the French beauty, Bella. You provided those chat logs and photos, didn't you? It wasn't me. I didn't. Bella, on the other end, instinctively tried to deny it. No need to deny it. I just want to know what you were after. Bella, on the other end, was silent for a while. I waited patiently for her answer. After a long time, she spoke. I wanted our relationship to go further. I retorted. So you gave your photos and those chat logs to Sarah, hoping to use public opinion through her to solidify your girlfriend's status? I originally thought you were smart. I told you clearly from the beginning. Sex is fine, a relationship isn't. You crossed the line this time. Tomorrow, I will request a transfer for you from headquarters, sending you back to London. No more needs to be said. After Sarah, women were merely a pleasant addition to my life. That trending topic didn't stay active online for long. The blogger who broke the story deleted the post, and the French headquarters also applied some pressure. It didn't cause too much of a stir. Instead, Sarah posted on social media to clarify things for me. I am Ken's ex-wife. Ken is a very good person. It's my fault he has become like this. I was also the one who leaked this story. I hoped he would come back and give me another chance. It seems impossible now. The other person involved in this incident, Bella, also came forward to defend me. Everything was consensual. I knew from the beginning that Ken had other women. He told me clearly from the start. Because of this, my social media followers increased by over 1 million in a few days. Some fans even sent me direct messages asking for advice. How do you get so many beautiful women to love you devotedly? I didn't reply to them, but instead thought, love yourself first, improve yourself, then enjoy the world. This incident thus came to a close. After this, Sarah also remained quiet for a long time, until Alex was arrested and brought back to the country. A spending record of his in the United States was found by the police. The police used the address for a cross-border pursuit, and he was eventually arrested and brought back. In his 2.5 years in the U.S., he had wasted most of the $80 million. The amount of money that could be recovered was minimal. For Sarah, it was a tiny amount. I also attended Alex's sentencing hearing. Alex was sentenced to 10 years in prison with a 1-year suspended sentence. After the court ended, Sarah rushed up to him angrily, questioning him, "Why? Why did you do this to me? What did I ever do to you?" Alex sneered. "Sarah, how dare you ask? Ken did so much for you, yet you could insult him in a language he didn't understand right to his face. Do you think I would ever truly entrust my future to someone like you? From beginning to end, all I wanted was your money. But I found out that ever since Ken left your company's profits plummeted. If I had waited for your company to go bankrupt before running, I really would have lost both the girl and the money." Alex took away Sarah's last bit of dignity. She collapsed on the floor, sobbing, looking in my direction, muttering, "I'm sorry." I ignored her. As I was about to leave, Alex looked at me and said, "Ken, you must be pretty pleased with yourself now, huh?" I turned, looked at him, and smiled. "Pleased about what? Isn't your current situation what you deserve? You broke the law." I smiled and walked out of the courtroom. The next time I heard news about them was 3 months later. Sarah, deeply affected, had been constantly drinking to forget her sorrow. One night, drunk, she found Alex with a knife and stabbed him over 12 times to vent her resentment. Alex died instantly. Sarah was also arrested and imprisoned. Someone found a letter in Sarah's residence addressed to me. When the police gave it to me, I didn't open it, but tore it up and threw it in the trash. I didn't have strong feelings about them, just lamented the unpredictability of life. Perhaps fate had already, in ways unknown, arranged the future for each of them. Their endings had nothing to do with me. I looked up at the sky. The sun was shining brightly. It was a beautiful day. My family's company was on the verge of bankruptcy. I alone, through sheer hard work, boosted the annual profits to $300 million. At the school awards ceremony, my dad publicly announced he'd found his biological son, and I was just the imposter who'd been living off them for years. Later, when the real son, Alex, got sick, my dad tried to force me to give him a kidney. "You've cost me so much money. One of your kidneys isn't too much to ask, is it?" My childhood sweetheart, Sarah, said sarcastically. "If you don't agree, be careful your uncle doesn't kick you out and leave you with nothing." I laughed, then sold all my shares, signed an agreement severing our ties, and before joining a rival company, I made sure to triple the rent on the company's main office building. "I can make you $300 million a year, and I can also put you $100 million in debt. Sorry, you cut right into your main artery with those layoffs." I just went to the bathroom during break. When I came back, my desk was overturned, and my books were torn to shreds. Alex dangled my homework in his hand, a mocking smile on his face. "Getting bold, huh? I told you to do my homework yesterday, and you didn't." He kicked me. "You haven't even been to the company for days, claiming you're not feeling well. You look pretty solid to me." The troublemakers around him snickered and pushed, throwing dried fruit and scraps of paper at me. Ever since the company gala, where my dad announced that Alex was his long-lost biological son, and I was just a usurper, a freeloader, the kids in my class had become Alex's followers, often helping him mock and bully me. "He raised you for so many years. If Alex tells you to be a dog, you better bark." Everyone around roared with laughter, demanding I crawl like a dog. I looked at Alex's familiar face and suddenly remembered meeting Alex's father years ago. I was 8 then. My parents worked as car washers for Alex's father. His family had fallen on hard times, their company bankrupt, and he decided to dismiss all the staff. When it was the car washer's turn, his enemies happened to show up. My parents, to repay the kindness Alex's father had shown them, sacrificed themselves, telling Alex's father to take me and leave. For years, Alex's father couldn't accept his bankruptcy and wasted his days drinking. It wasn't until I revived the company, gradually making it bigger and stronger, working myself to the bone to hit $300 million in annual profit, that things changed. After all that, nearly 20, regretting my unfinished education, I wanted to enroll in school and donated a new building. But I never expected that Alex's father would use the company's name and stand on the school's award stage. It was then that Alex recognized his biological father and rushed onto the stage for a reunion. They embraced, and Alex's father, overcome with emotion, said, "They say good deeds are rewarded. I invested in a school building, and I found my real son. Heaven truly has eyes." The principal looked a bit awkward. "Wasn't Ken enrolled as the heir?" Only then did Alex's father remember me. "Oh, Ken. He's done pretty well helping me out over the years. But he's just an adopted son, after all." The audience applauded. I was lost in the crowd. In the end, I swallowed my pride because of our past. But Alex didn't let me off the hook. At school, he used my age as a reason to shun me, leading classmates to insult and bully me, mocking me as Alex's family dog. At home, Alex's father used the favor he'd done me years ago to pressure me into taking care of his younger brother. I always remembered that meal he once gave us, so I kept enduring it. Recently, a problem with a company bid led to a crisis of confidence. To win back partners, I hadn't slept for half a month straight. On my way home, I was hit by a car and went to the hospital, which is why I didn't do Alex's homework now. Alex was looking down on me, forcefully pressing on the wound on my side. "Even a good dog knows to bark at its master. Are you a bad dog that bites?" In front of the whole class, I grabbed a chair and threw it. "Alex, you've gone too far this time." The chair missed Alex, instead flying past him and crashing heavily onto the floor behind him. Alex froze. Then, realizing what happened, his face turned bright red as he looked at me. "Ken, you're just a dog in our family. You've been in my place for so many years. Now you dare to hit me?" Enraged, Alex threw a punch at me. I easily sidestepped it, grabbed his wrist and tripped him to the ground. His followers, seeing things go wrong, rushed over to hit me, but I handled them all easily. They collapsed on the floor. Years ago, when Alex's father was deep in debt and creditors came knocking, I was only 15. I used my body to shield him from those fists, fighting those vicious thugs with my life. Only then did Alex's father take me in as his godson. But the old wounds on my body remained forever. Alex clutched his side, snarling, "I'm going to have my dad fire you from your CEO position immediately." I scoffed. "Go ahead and try." This seemed to hit a nerve with Alex. He pointed at me and yelled, "Ken, you just got lucky with my dad's money. Otherwise, someone like you with poor blood, the son of a dirty car washer, how could you be where you are today?" My parents were car washers, but for a little bit of food and water Alex's father once casually gave them, they sacrificed themselves without hesitation. Anger flared up in me. "Watch your mouth," Alex sneered, even more dismissive. "Someone like you deserves my respect. Everyone in this class knows you're just a dog working for my family." His follower threw money at me. Hey, that car outside hasn't been washed. How about you lick it clean for me? A dirty car washer really thinks he's a young master. What a lowlife. If I were you, I'd get on my knees and apologize right now. After all, I wouldn't want to leave them and become a worthless stray. I looked at him calmly. Running the company all these years, I'd earned more than just company dividends. If hundreds of millions in real estate is nothing, then everyone would probably want that. After all, even the building the company is in is mine. If I wanted to, I could easily kick them out. It was only because I remembered my parents' last wishes and the kindness shown that I had always been so tolerant and accommodating. Alex's follower looked at me disdainfully. No wonder they say there's something wrong with poor people's genes. After all, I wouldn't be shamelessly going to school at 20, an uncultured fake heir. As the classmates jeered, the teacher walked in. I took a deep breath, gathered my books, and sat down. You can insult me if you want. The class is starting. Don't disrupt it. But the teacher looked at me with a complicated expression. Ken, aren't you the one disrupting the class? Given your age, you're not really suited for studying anymore. People need to face reality. No need to force yourself to get a diploma just for show. What do you think? I felt a chill. Are you asking me to leave? Do you know who invested in the new school building? Alex burst out laughing. Everyone knows my dad invested in it. I know what you're worth. Get out of the classroom now, or I'll have you kicked out of the company and even the house. I respected Alex's father, remembering his kindness, so I turned a blind eye when he took credit for my work, thinking about how he repeatedly told me Alex was in poor health and to be more understanding. I finally held back and sat back down. Alex sneered, then arrogantly told the teacher, "Since some people have no shame, let him stay for class. Consider it a gift from me." His eyes gleamed with malice. I didn't take his petty tricks seriously, not paying them much mind. But before class even ended, a post exploded on the school forum. A girl claimed she was being persistently harassed. The text was, "I'm just an ordinary poor student, forced into this with no way out. And he's a 20-year-old adult man. I have no strength to resist him. Please, everyone, help me." The accompanying picture was a shot of my back as I came to class, without changing out of my suit, along with a video of a girl forced into a uniform, kneeling on the ground, covered in red marks. But I didn't even know her. I kicked my desk away, grabbed Alex by the collar, and shoved my phone in his face. "Did you do this? She's just a young girl. How could you?" Alex licked his lips, smiling, his eyes glinting with triumph. "You lowlife! You clearly did this! What does it have to do with me? I'm not like you, the son of a car washer with dirty blood. Any woman I want, I just have to beckon." Before he finished speaking, my girlfriend messaged me. She wanted to meet me in the school's small grove after class. I spent the whole day worried about my girlfriend's state of mind. But when I rushed to the grove, I didn't see her. Instead, Alex and his buddies from outside school were waiting for me. They rushed me all at once, holding me down. No matter how experienced I was, I couldn't fend off so many people. I ended up pinned to the ground, hands tied behind my back. Alex kicked me in the throat, then repeatedly kicked my stomach. I felt something rise in my chest, and soon I coughed up blood. His buddies yelled, "This kind of trash needs to be taught a lesson to behave. Boss, why don't we break one of his hands? Make him a cripple. Let's see what he uses to fight you then." Alex grabbed my elbow, a smile like poison. "Good idea. You think I'm useless, huh?" He wrenched my arm with all his might. The intense pain made my consciousness blur. "Once you're a cripple, let's see who's more useless, you or me." The pain made me bite down hard, but Alex suddenly screamed, clutching his stomach and collapsing to the ground. His buddies swarmed around him, not knowing what to do. My dislocated arm bone. I took a deep breath and snapped it back into place. Looking at Alex, who was screaming on the ground, I silently called for an ambulance. After Alex was checked out at the hospital, Alex's father's call came through. I hurried home, and as soon as I opened the door, I met his complex gaze. "Ken, didn't I tell you before? My son has been through a lot in the countryside all these years. He's wild. You need to be more understanding." I looked him straight in the eye. In the early years, when the company was just starting, I also struggled, drinking all sorts of cheap booze. Alex's father was silent for a moment, then slapped a document on the table. "All right, I called you back this time to discuss something with you. The doctor said Alex's past irregular eating habits and unhealthy lifestyle led to kidney inflammation, causing kidney failure. He needs an emergency transplant now. We've raised you for so many years, and you've spent a lot of the company's money. It's time for you to give something back." I could hardly believe what I was hearing. With their financial resources, they could find a kidney donor. Why did it have to be mine? Alex's father slammed the table. "Because you owe our family, and it's time to pay it back." I couldn't help but laugh. All these years of hard work, management, and support, everything I had done felt like a joke. The body I ruined from sleepless nights, the blood I coughed up from drinking, the success I achieved, in their eyes, it was all theirs to begin with. As I was reeling, the door to Alex's bedroom opened. My girlfriend Sarah walked out. Seeing her, my aching heart felt a glimmer of warmth. When I first met Sarah, her family's company was on the verge of bankruptcy, and they had to beg me for help. Seeing her frail form, I remembered the little boy who grew up sheltered by the car washer, and my heart softened completely. So I helped Sarah's parents rebuild their company. She fell in love with me because of it, chasing me relentlessly. Under her fierce pursuit, I fell head over heels in love. Our relationship had been great all these years, but seeing her emerge from that direction, I frowned slightly. Sarah walked up to me. "I heard your brother is sick. I came over to see him." I felt a bit relieved, but then she continued. "Alex has really suffered a lot over the years. It's ruined his health. You should be more considerate of him. Don't get angry with him over small things. Alex told me you even laid a hand on him." Sarah's eyes held undisguised disgust. "You know your parents were just car washers. If it weren't for my uncle willing to help you, where would you be today? Besides, the company was never yours to begin with. You've occupied this position, freeloading for so many years, and even bully Alex. You've really disappointed me." The person before me looked like the girl who used to orbit around me, but she felt like a complete stranger. I looked at her in disbelief. "Sarah, don't forget whose girlfriend you are. And you just came out of Alex's bedroom. When did you two get so close?" Sarah raised her hand and slapped me hard across the face. I sighed. "You're not being reasonable. Besides, Alex and I just have a pure brother-sister relationship. Why is your mind so dirty? If you hadn't bullied Alex and caused his kidney inflammation to flare up, would I be here helping take care of him?" Their eyes were cold as they looked at me, as if I were the irrational madman and Alex was the victim. I felt a chill run through me. After a long pause, I calmed down and firmly refused. "I will not donate a kidney. You have no right to make me sacrifice my body." Alex's father became agitated. "Don't you dare leave. Your tests show your kidney is a perfect match for Alex. If you dare to let him die, aren't you afraid everyone will call you heartless and ungrateful?" But my stance was firm, unwavering. Sarah exchanged a look with him and actually came over to put her arm around me. "Uncle was just too anxious. Don't mind him. This is a serious matter. Let's sit down and talk it over." Sarah poured 2 cups of tea, handing one to me and placing one in front of Alex's father. There's no grudge between father and son that can't be resolved. Let's have some tea and talk slowly." I let out a sigh of relief and raised the cup. As the tea reached my lips, I keenly noticed the white powder settled at the bottom. Sleeping pills. I slammed the cup down. "You're both willing to go this far for Alex?" Seeing that I'd noticed, they both tensed up as if facing a major enemy. "Ken!" Alex's father pointed at my nose and yelled, "I raised you for so many years. Everything you have is mine. You are donating this kidney today, or else get out. Don't even think about taking a penny." I slowly smiled. "Fine. You forced me into this. Since everything I've done all these years was for the company, you can have it all. You don't have to kick me out. I'll leave voluntarily." I stood up to leave, but Alex's father's face darkened. He gestured to the side. Suddenly, several burly men emerged from within the house. At Alex's father's signal, they surrounded me. Knowing I had no chance, I stood still. "Do you really have to take things this far?" Alex's father pointed at my nose. "You stood on my shoulders to see the world. You owed me this from the start. Now that you don't understand duty and righteousness, I'll teach you one last lesson as your adoptive father." The large men pinned me to the ground, forcing me to sign a severance of ties agreement and a stock transfer agreement. I gritted my teeth and fought back, only to be kicked back to the ground. The company only became profitable through my hard work. Even if I don't get credit, I put in the effort. "Doesn't your conscience hurt?" I roared, questioning Alex's father. His eyes flickered, and he silently shook his head. "Enough! Stop making a scene. The company succeeded because it had a foundation. It didn't have much to do with you. Besides, you've lived quite well all these years. As my son who had nothing growing up, you should have been understanding and taken care of him." Sarah said from the side, "If you had just agreed to donate the kidney, we wouldn't have resorted to these extreme measures. Frankly, you brought this on yourself." "Brought this on myself, indeed!" My eyes were bloodshot. I threw a punch at one of the thugs. "My biggest mistake was saving your wretched family." Sarah was furious. "Get him. Beat him until he submits. Men fighting is all about brute force, real damaging power." The thugs pinned me to the ground, and following Alex's father's instructions, kicked me specifically where I had old injuries. My spine screamed in pain, bones nearly shattering. Numb, they dragged a knife down my back, and my knee twisted and buckled under their pressure. But even so, I refused to yield. They forcibly held me down, forcing me to sign the stock transfer agreement. 50% of the shares, all transferred to Alex, with no conditions or compensation. Sarah approached with an anesthetic. "Ken, you forced me to do this." Before I passed out, Alex's father, furious, stomped on my head. "You disrespectful brat! If your parents knew you were like this, they wouldn't rest in peace." I silently thought, "Mom, Dad, I've repaid your kindness, but a son has to fight for his dignity and his life. Since they're unjust, don't blame me for being unrighteous." When I opened my eyes again, I was looking at the fluorescent light above, realizing I was in the hospital. My abdomen felt normal. It seemed the kidney hadn't been transplanted yet. Sarah, a nurse at this hospital, pushed a cart towards me. I looked up at her. "Do you remember? I helped you get this job back then." She had no job, no qualifications. It was I who pulled every string to get her a position at the city's top hospital. I never thought it would become a knife pointed at me now. Sarah's face darkened a little. "You just helped a little. I got where I am today all through my own efforts. As for you, you should worry about yourself first. Don't get too agitated again. If something happens and you die on the operating table, that would be unfortunate." People are like that, what? First, to climb up, they cling to you desperately. You give in, give them the chance to step on you. Then later they casually say, "It was all my own hard work," and dismiss your help. I sneered. "Sarah, you really disappoint me." Sarah's face twitched, and finally, unable to contain her anger, she slapped me. "Instead of mocking me, you should think about your own future. Originally, if you donated a kidney to Alex, it wouldn't have been a big deal. Uncle would still have let you manage the company. Unfortunately, now, you're about to become an incomplete person, losing everything you had. Tell me, why did you have to do this?" Sarah produced 2 forms. "The family ties you thought you had ultimately can't compare to blood relations. Love can't withstand the realities of the world. I saw all the effort you put into building everything, but now it's all Alex's. You occupied his position, so you have to compensate him. You owe him." Faced with my lifeless silence, Sarah smiled contemptuously, picked up a syringe, and injected some unknown drug into my IV drip. Then she whispered in my ear, "You don't actually think you'll at least get to live, do you?" Her voice was soft. "What makes you think I would let someone who has seen me at my worst continue to live in this world? Go die, Ken. To die for me and Alex is your honor." I watched helplessly as the drug flowed through the tube into my body, unable to move due to the anesthetic. Sarah's phone beeped. She glanced at it, then immediately smiled and went to greet Alex, wheeling him in from outside. He fussed over him with gentle concern. Alex looked at me triumphantly. "Well, how does this feel? Not good, right?" He laughed arrogantly. "You know, if you had just kneeled and barked like a dog a couple of times, none of this would have happened. Too bad you're so stubborn. You brought this on yourself." I didn't even want to look at him. He was completely unafraid. "I have no desire to be in the same category as you." Alex jumped up in anger, but couldn't physically attack me due to his kidney failure. After Sarah calmed him down, he said, "I'm very grateful for everything you've done for the company all these years. But someone like you with poor blood is like a cockroach to me. Just looking at you makes me sick. That's why I told my dad we had to get rid of you. He also felt he couldn't keep a dog that bites." I felt nothing. "So what? Once the company is in your hands, it'll go bankrupt within a year. I'll be waiting for you to join me down below." Alex's eyes widened. "You!" Sarah gently stroked him, then turned and increased the dosage of my anesthetic. Alex looked down at me. "This kidney is your last remaining value. Once you've served your purpose, you can die. But just letting you die isn't enough." He smiled sinisterly. "I've also arranged a big surprise for you. It'll be here soon." Just as he finished speaking, a commotion erupted outside the hospital room. There was a woman's soh, crying, and a man's angry roar. Sarah curled her lip and went out, feigning surprise. "Is Ken in there? Tell him to get out here. He needs to answer for what he did to my daughter." The woman was sobbing uncontrollably. "My daughter is only a teenager. She was ruined by this monster. She was such a bright, lovely girl, and yesterday she tried to kill herself at home. I'm a useless mother. I can't avenge her. I don't want to live anymore either." Sarah pretended to be shocked. "Did you see clearly? Are you sure it was Ken? Couldn't be." My daughter didn't see his face clearly, but she definitely recognized his clothes. That suit. Many people have seen him wear it. He's the only 20-year-old man in the whole school still attending classes. Sarah covered her mouth. "No way. Although Ken can be a bit unfilial and rather cold and indifferent to people, he wouldn't do something like this, would he? You know him." The man grabbed Sarah, screaming, "Let us see him. I want to kill him with my own hands. Make him pay for what he did to my daughter." Led by Sarah, this group quickly stormed into the hospital room. Those eyes, filled with anger and sorrow, pierced my heart, but I couldn't speak. I could only watch as Alex and Sarah hypocritically tried to stop them. Alex said with false kindness, "He is my brother, after all. I will take full responsibility for his mistakes. But now he is going to donate his kidney to me, which will, in a way, extend my life. Your daughter would be happy to know that." Sarah wiped her tears. Alex's family raised Ken for so many years, letting him freeload while the real young master suffered for so long. We only want one of Ken's kidneys to save Alex's life. The girl's family was still furious. "What does that have to do with us? I just want him to pay with his life." Sarah looked around. "I understand how you all feel. How about this? After the kidney transplant is done, we'll hand Ken over to you. You can do whatever you want with him then. Uncle, as Ken's adoptive father, will also sign a letter of understanding. Consider it cleaning house." I saw the flash of a camera from the doorway and suddenly realized this was a massive conspiracy. From the very beginning, this kidney transplant was a plan to kill 3 birds with 1 stone. Under the guise of a transplant, they would use drugs to make me die slowly. By the time the poison took effect, the transplant would be long over. Then, they would rightfully hand me over to the girl's family. In their extreme anger over losing their child, they would inevitably do something terrible to me. If the poison took effect at that moment, they could frame the girl's entire family. Then, even if the girl's family found out the truth that Alex had harmed the girl, they would never be able to clear their names because Alex's father would hold all the cards. I never imagined this old man who had wasted his life, had put none of his intelligence into managing the company, but all of it into dealing with me. This plan not only gave Alex a healthy body, but also eliminated me, a thorn in his side, and simultaneously dealt with the family of the girl Alex had harmed. What a vicious heart. I coughed up a mouthful of blood, my fingers twitching. The surgeon finally arrived. Alex sneered at me. "Ready for eternal damnation?" But just then, I curved my lips slightly. "Oh, are you talking about yourself?" Alex had just frowned when the head surgeon raised a syringe and plunged it into his neck. As Alex's eyes widened in shock, all the medical staff from outside rushed in. They first subdued Sarah, then forcibly removed the girl's family, promising to give them an explanation next. The head surgeon respectfully removed my IV. "Bro, take it easy getting up." Alex looked at me, stunned. "How can this be? Weren't you anesthetized?" I stretched my sore limbs. "Is a saline drip considered anesthesia?" Sarah couldn't believe it. "When did you bribe the doctor?" I stared at him calmly. "Why don't you try to guess with your low education and pig-like brain?" "Why do you think I was able to get you into the top hospital?" the head surgeon sneered. "Back then, our hospital director's 20-year-old son was critically ill. The old director, despite being a doctor, was heartbroken that he couldn't save him. His whole life, it was Ken who spent a vast amount of money and resources to support relevant medical research, which ultimately saved his son's life. After that, the entire medical industry held Ken in high regard. Our hospital happens to be one that Ken invested in. He's the largest shareholder." Alex trembled all over. "No, how could this be? You're just a garbage-eating cockroach." I waved my hand. "I don't feel like eating you just yet, but I haven't eaten in so long, my stomach really isn't feeling well." So I grabbed Alex's mouth and threw up right into it. He screamed and shrieked. The more he shrieked, the more nauseated he became, almost fainting. I took a handkerchief to wipe my mouth, sitting on the hospital bed. "Didn't you think I was a cockroach? Then try my special recovery fluid." The head surgeon winced. "Bro, your psychological attack is way stronger than his childish tricks. I've been around for so many years. I wasn't fazed by his petty schemes. Alex frantically spat out the filth from his mouth, mumbling and pointing at me. So what? Your shares were transferred to me long ago. Everything you've done, all the money you've earned, it's all mine. I thought for a moment. Shares? Oh, those. I transferred them to other shareholders while you were in the hospital. Didn't I tell you? Since the shares had already been transferred out, they no longer belong to me. So the agreement you forced me to sign is invalid. Surprise! Alex was about to die of anger. So you were prepared from that moment on, you bastard, I scoffed. You figured it out too late. Let's go back to give the old man a surprise. This is all yours, Dr. Evans. I turned and walked away coolly, though my hands and feet were still a bit numb. Facing the girl's family, I simply recounted the truth. Seeing their disbelieving eyes, I shrugged helplessly. I'll have someone investigate thoroughly and give you the truth. But you have to trust me. Otherwise, the real culprit will go free, and your daughter will have died in vain. Are you really okay with that? They looked at each other and finally chose to back down. I didn't go anywhere else, but returned to the company. Everyone greeted me warmly. Only Alex's father, upon hearing the news, rushed downstairs, his eyes glaring at me as if he wanted to cut me into 1,000 pieces. You still dare to come here? Look what you've done! The old fox's eyes flickered, suppressing his anger. He said earnestly, He is your brother, after all, and I am, after all, your father. There's no such thing as an overnight feud. He called for someone to make tea and said to me, Come, let's sit down and talk slowly. But I stopped the secretary. No need for tea. I threw an agreement on the table, curled my lips. I came today to resign. He was stunned. What are you talking about? We're family. Isn't it natural for you to manage the company for me? I almost laughed at his shamelessness. Our adoptive father-son relationship has been severed, and we have no blood ties. Where does this father and son come from? As for your biological son, he's probably dying of kidney failure right now. Instead of wasting time here with me, you should be finding him a kidney donor. People around started whispering. Is Ken leaving? Then who will manage the company in the future? I looked around. I plan to resign. To the director who has always opposed us. Anyone who comes with me, your salary will be doubled. The whole place erupted in an uproar, drowning out Alex's father's furious shouts, just like I had been drowned out before. Before leaving, I looked at this company, which I had poured my life's blood into, building it with all my might. Every plant, every piece of furniture here, I had carefully chosen. It was the most important part of my life. But I also knew that the most important thing in life is to declutter, to get rid of unnecessary things that become burdens in order to embrace a new life. I turned my head. Oh, right. I forgot to tell you, old man. This building is now mine. It's under my personal name. From now on, your annual rent is tripled. If you don't pay, pack up and get out. I hope this company built on your family support can also achieve an annual profit of over 100 million in the future. After saying this, I didn't bother with him anymore, picked up my things, and left the building. Alex's father initially thought I was just throwing a tantrum until I joined a new company and helped them win many major deals that originally belonged to them. My former partners also followed me to my new company. When news spread that Alex couldn't win a single bid, Alex's father finally couldn't sit still. He had been swamped with Alex's kidney transplant, completely overwhelmed. The suitable kidney donor he finally found was a troublemaking scoundrel who demanded 50 million up front, or else he'd let Alex die. Alex's father only had that one son. Gritting his teeth, he diverted a large amount of the company's funds for personal use, causing the board of directors to collectively protest and sue. The company also plunged into a financial crisis. After going bankrupt, Alex's father only knew how to drown his sorrows in alcohol, having long forgotten any business skills. Alex was just a good-for-nothing delinquent. Under their management, the company quickly amassed countless debts. It's said that enemies came looking for them and directly ruined the kidney Alex had bought for $50 million. They had to sell their house and ended up crammed in a rental apartment. Alex's father still unconditionally supported Alex, dreaming of a comeback. I also kindly added fuel to the fire, revealing the truth about Alex's disappearance years ago. It turned out that what Alex's father always believed, that his child got lost on the eve of bankruptcy, and his first love left him in anger. The truth was that his first love had long been having an affair. She conspired with her son, Alex, to have him pretend to get lost, while she used it as an excuse to argue with Alex's father and divorce him. In the end, the first love decided Alex was also a burden, so she just up and left with her lover, going abroad. That's why Alex was left unsupervised, his heart filled with resentment. Alex's father, upon learning the truth, couldn't bear it. He beat and cursed Alex every few days. Unable to take it anymore, they attacked each other with kitchen knives, both ending up in the hospital. It's said they were still fighting in their hospital beds. The nurses and doctors watching were constantly sending me videos and gossip. And Sarah's family company, which relied on my company for business, also found itself unable to make ends meet, completely unable to satisfy her daily needs. So when I saw her next, it was at a business club. Sarah's eyes lit up when she saw me. She smoothed her appearance and was about to walk over. Just then, my female companion appeared, gently and gracefully acting flirtatious with me. "Didn't you promise to go abroad with me? You still haven't set a date? Don't you love me anymore?" I smiled and put my arm around her. "Next week, I'll spend the rest of my life with you. How could I not love you?" 7 days later, I boarded a plane to go abroad. The old chains were broken. Today, I finally knew who I was.
Which bathroom? Left or right bathroom? Got it.
Right. Wow, no way I don't get that kill. What? Rod is a fucking robber. 177. What the heck?
There's a team rezzing downtown. Oh, right here. WestCon.
Where?
Oh,
And gone?
multiple.
Yeah, landed on him.
One knock.
One under you.
Yes, sir.
Keep your head up until Lexville.
2 knock. There you go.
All dead.
Looks like the
Oh,
enemy
no,
has a
Bob.
combat vehicle in your area. I'll send AT for support.
Two underneath, one knocked. Dust, could use help if you had it.
Might be down, Dust.
Yo, inside to the left right here.
Make your way to that point.
Can you set your Moby down, Dust?
Oh, that guy just busted my shit with that
Hey, Res
DMR.
Rod? I'm safe.
I don't even know you guys are fighting.
I've been calling it.
I couldn't talk. I was trying to help you, but Bob wanted me to put down the thing. Should've just
Yeah,
done it after.
Dorito!
Yeah, I know. I'm not fighting. I'm wrapping around. I'm wrapping above them. Wow. They see me. Might chase me now. I think they are.
They actually killed the
They showed
respawn.
the Moby.
That's wild.
Under me. 150.
Stop it, idiot.
Bro, I actually don't.